let's bring back one of those clips, please. We are going to dive into the gap between the rings of Saturn and Saturn's atmosphere, a place no spacecraft's ever gone. At that velocity, oh, by the way, we're going to be doing it from 1 billion kilometers away. It's all being run from right here. Just another stunt.
The grand finale, it's going to be 22 orbits, about 6 months. What do we hope to accomplish in that amount of time?
We hope to accomplish a lot of incredible science, things that we have never been able to do before with the Cassini mission. To be able to do this engineering, to thread that needle between Saturn and its rings, is really challenging.
The grand finale is a series of 22 orbits where Cassini dives in between the innermost ring and the top of Saturn's atmosphere, almost an inside passage, very close to the planet.
What we learned about Saturn during that encounter and during the months that preceded it have really rewritten the textbooks on Saturn.
That has essentially rewritten the books on Saturn. It is just a phenomenal achievement. Cassini's legacy is absolutely assured. We are in the books, guys. It is just there. But the best is still yet to come, perhaps. But we are certainly going to provide more excitement.
If we started with a small book, a little novella that was about Saturn, and indeed largely imagination, we now have a solid 3-volume Baedeker guide to Saturn. But in the end, we're going to have an encyclopedia. In the end, we will have 100 books, maybe.
The science we're going to get in the grand finale is like no other science we've gotten in the mission. We've never gotten this close to Saturn before. In fact, no spacecraft has gotten this close to Saturn. And that allows us to make measurements that you just can't make when you're orbiting outside the rings.
So, the science. I love the engineering of all of this, but really the engineering is all in it because of the science. And this is just some of the unique things. You've seen what Linda showed already, and it is phenomenal. And we're going to continue to do some more of that even while we're here.
We have some incredible science that will come back during Cassini's grand finale orbits. It includes gravity measurements of the planet itself, revealing the interior of Saturn and the depths of Saturn's winds. Then we have the magnetic field measurements. Perhaps that will give us the length of Saturn's day and help us understand how the field is generated inside the planet. We'll get the mass of the rings for the first time, as well as a direct measurement of their composition. Incredible pictures of the rings and looking at the North Polar hexagon, direct measurements of the particles and the radiation belt in this region, a whole host of unique science in the grand finale.
But these are opportunities that we will never, ever get any other time. Saturn internal structure, magnetic fields, and gravity. We'll actually be able to determine for the first time the mass of the rings. By flying in between the rings and Saturn, we can get a sense of where they, which one's which. And that tells us something very fundamental. Believe it or not, we don't know how old the rings are. They could be a couple 100 million years, they could be 1 billion years. There's a big argument about that, and very, very intelligent people on both sides of the case. We think we can help with some of these measurements.
The grand finale not only provides really incredible science, but it also helps us satisfy a planetary protection requirement. We're protecting the tiny moon Enceladus as well as Titan.
I think Cassini has left us with humankind's presence at another planet for 13 years, seeing things that we had never imagined seeing, and at the same time sharing that with the entire world and opening up vistas for the next sets of missions. This is a model of the Cassini spacecraft, and this right up here is our high-gain antenna, a great big dish. And if you notice, almost all of the instruments, if you point it in the right way, are shadowed or shielded by that antenna. So first time in, we're going to go behind the high-gain antenna, having it shield everything we possibly can. Of course, the magnetometer's hanging out here, and they're on their own. But everybody else, everybody else will be back behind the shield.
Those decades of Cassini have flown by, and now here we stand on the brink of the grand finale. In so many ways, the grand finale is like a brand new mission. We're going to a place and obtaining data with the Cassini spacecraft we could only obtain in doing it this way. In fact, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if some of the discoveries we make with Cassini might be the very best of the mission from these grand finale orbits.
The spectacular ending, the grand finale, going out in a blaze of glory, is a phenomenal conclusion to a chapter in humankind's exploration of the planets. Just a chapter. The book is not complete. There's more to come.
So I think we can, in fact, replace the God concept, that is, the God as the explanation of all things natural, and I think, in fact, we've already done it. It's just a matter of developing a socially appealing way to get the word out to everybody.
I love knowledge. You know, to me, knowledge is power. It's so empowering to know the truth and to really understand something. Boy, when you come to study something and you come to understand it, you know, even if it's just a little discovery that you make and you come to understand it on your own, it's like the greatest high.
There is a lot more to come.